All right, let's talk about something that's probably on the mind of every millennial parent out there. How do we raise financially smart kids? I mean, our generation has been through some serious economic roller coasters, right? So for us, giving our kids a real head start with money, that's not just a nice to have, it's everything. Okay, so let's just kick this off with a pretty shocking statistic. Did you know that a staggering 90% of generational wealth, poof, it's gone by the third generation? And it's not always because the money just gets spent. A lot of the time, it's the knowledge, the habits, the conversations about money. Those are the things that don't get passed down. So that really begs the question, right? How do we stop that from happening? How do we make sure that all the effort and hard work we're pouring in today actually creates a legacy, not just of money, but of actual financial wisdom for our kids and maybe even our grandkids?
Well, the answer is actually pretty straightforward. It's financial literacy. And look, this isn't about teaching your 7-year-old about stock options. It's about giving them a kind of superpower to navigate the real world. We've actually broken it all down into a super simple framework that any parent can use, like starting tonight.
Okay, so here it is. This is our 5-step financial foundation plan. We're going to start with the psychology behind money and work our way all the way up to an earner's mindset. Think of it as your complete playbook. First up, step 1. Master the mindset. Look, before we even touch a single number or talk about budgets, we have to get the psychology right. It really comes down to 2 big ideas that are going to influence pretty much every money decision they'll ever make. The first one is a classic, but it is so important. Wants versus needs. You know, needs are the absolute must-haves. Food, a roof over their head, safety. Wants? That's, well, everything else. The new video game, the cool sneakers, the extra scoop of ice cream. Getting them to understand this difference, that's ground zero for smart spending. And here's why this is more critical now than ever before. Get this, the American Psychological Association says kids see over 40,000 ads a year. Think about that. Every single ad is basically a little machine designed to make a want feel like a need. That is the noise our kids are trying to navigate. Okay, the second part of the mindset puzzle is delayed gratification. I like to think of this as the saving muscle. It's that ability to say no thanks to the small thing right now so you can say yes, please to the much bigger, better thing later on. You know, skipping the candy bar to save up for that new bike.
All right, so once that psychological foundation is there, we can move on to step 2, which is all about making money real. Let's be honest, in our world of tapping a card or clicking buy now, money can feel totally abstract, just numbers on a screen. Our job is to make it tangible for them.
An allowance is a fantastic place to start. But here's a really important distinction. The allowance isn't for doing their regular chores. That's just part of being in the family. No, the allowance is like a financial training ground. It's their money to practice with, to make decisions with, and yeah, even to make a few mistakes with where the stakes are low. Then, as they get a bit older, that first job is an absolute game changer. Seriously, it's about so much more than just the money. It's like a crash course in the real world. Punctuality, responsibility, dealing with a boss, and really feeling that connection between putting in the hours and getting that paycheck.
Okay, so they've got the mindset, they've started to earn a little bit of their own cash. Now comes step 3. This is where we turn those lessons into actual lifelong habits by building some simple financial systems.
System number 1 couldn't be simpler, but it's so powerful. Open a bank account with them. And don't just do it for them, do it with them. Show them how to deposit cash, how a debit card works, how to log in and see their balance. It just pulls back the curtain on this whole banking thing that can feel really intimidating.
And system number 2? A budget. But hold on, we're not talking about complex spreadsheets here. A fantastic place to start is the 50-30-20 rule. It's just a simple guide. 50% of their money is for needs, 30% is for wants, and that last 20%, that goes directly into savings. No ifs, ands, or buts.
And this right here is probably the most crucial lesson of all, teaching them to pay themselves first. See, saving isn't what you do with the money that's left over at the end of the month. You treat savings like your most important bill. It's the first thing that comes out every single time. All right, moving on to step 4. Now, this is a big one, and it's a topic that kind of freaks a lot of people out. Credit. We have got to teach our kids that credit isn't the enemy. It's a tool, a really powerful one that, if you know how to use it, can open up a ton of doors for you. So first things first, we need to demystify the credit score. It's not some grade on how good of a person you are. It's more like a financial trust score. It just tells lenders how likely you are to pay back money you borrow.
And having a good one just makes life so much easier and cheaper down the road, from renting an apartment to getting a car loan. And you know what the best part is? Building a good score isn't some complicated secret. It really just comes down to a few simple rules. Pay your bills on time, always. Don't max out your cards, keep those balances low, and start building that good track record as early as possible.
And that brings us to our final step, step 5. And this one is a really cool mindset shift. We're moving beyond just saving and managing money and into the world of creating value and actually earning money on their own terms.
The best way to do this is just to show them what's possible. Something as simple as starting a dog walking business. Think about it. They learn about finding customers, being responsible, scheduling, all while making a really decent hourly wage.
Or hey, maybe they're a rock star at math or science. They can turn that into a tutoring gig. It's an amazing way for them to help other kids strengthen their own understanding of a subject and bring in some serious cash.
And of course, we live in the digital age. They can start an online business with practically no money upfront. Think about a print-on-demand shop. They can create cool designs, sell them on t-shirts or whatever, and they never have to touch a single piece of inventory. The sky's really the limit there.
So look, at the end of the day, these 5 steps aren't just about the money. And this is the real kicker. A study from BYU found that kids who learn how to manage money well actually have more fulfilling, stable relationships when they grow up. It just proves that money skills are really life skills.
So this whole thing isn't about trying to raise a bunch of millionaires. It's about raising capable, confident, and responsible adults. It's about making sure our kids aren't part of that 90% statistic we talked about at the beginning. And it all starts with a simple conversation. So my question to you is, what's the one money conversation you can have with your kid tonight?